Are you tired of being told to wake up early in the morning, fix your routine, optimize everything, just to feel like you're still behind? If you want to change your life without burning yourself out, this video is for you. Nobody talks about this. Self-improvement only works if you have energy, and most people don't, or at least, not much. They're trying to manage a whole life, showing up in different roles, working, studying, raising kids, taking care of others. And by the time the day is over, there's nothing left for themselves. And maybe that's you. If you're watching this and you feel tired, not just physically, but mentally, emotionally, I need you to hear this first. You are not behind. And you are not weak. You're just running on low battery. And no one ever taught you that self-improvement has to adjust to your battery level. Most self-help advice is built for people operating at full charge. It is designed for people who have their entire day, energy, and mental space available to focus on growth, as if self-development were their full-time job. And from that place, the advice usually sounds something like this. Wake up at 5 a.m., go to the gym 5 or 6 times a week, read 30 pages every day, journal, meditate, build a business, glow up. But what if your energy level is at 40%? What if getting out of bed already cost you energy? What if answering one message feels overwhelming? What if you want to improve your life, but you don't even have the strength to start? That's where the 40% method comes in. And no, this is not about pushing harder. The 40% method is simple. On the days you only have low energy, you design your self-improvement around 40%. Not around 100%, not around who you were last year, not around what productivity influencers are doing, around what you can realistically carry today. Because growth is not about intensity, it's about sustainability. Let me explain. When you try to perform at 100% while only having 40% energy, your nervous system goes into stress mode. You feel guilty, you feel behind, you feel like you're failing, and then you quit. Not because you're incapable, but because you were trying to lift a weight that doesn't match your current capacity. The 40% method removes the mismatch. Instead of asking, how can I do more? You ask, what does 40% look like today? If your ideal morning routine has 10 steps, your 40% version might have 2. If your goal is to work out for 2 hours, your 40% version might be 15 minutes. If your goal is to read 30 pages, your 40% version might be 3 or 5. And here's the shift. You still show up. But you show up gently. This is not about lowering your standards forever. It's about stabilizing your system. Because here's the truth no one talks about. Consistency built at 40% beats intensity built at 100%. Small actions done on tired days compound into massive change. Let's make this practical. Here are 5 ways to apply the 40% method immediately. Define your minimum viable day. Ask yourself, if today could only have 3 non-negotiables, what would they be? Not 10, just 3. For example, move your body for 5 to 10 minutes. Do one focused task. Take care of your basic needs. That's it. If you complete those, the day is a success. Here's why this matters. Most exhaustion doesn't come from doing too little. It comes from trying to carry too much. When everything feels important, your brain goes into overwhelm mode, and when you're overwhelmed, you freeze. The minimum viable day removes the pressure of perfection. It tells your nervous system, we are not trying to win the Olympics today. We are trying to stay consistent. 3 small anchors create stability, and stability creates momentum. When you complete your 3, your brain registers success and not failure. And repeated small wins rebuild self-trust. 2. Shrink the entry point. Most of the time, the hardest part is starting. So make starting almost laughably easy. Don't work out for an hour. Put on your shoes. Don't clean the apartment. Clear one surface. Don't fix your life. Drink a glass of water. When you're at 40%, the goal is not intensity. It's initiation. Because starting creates psychological momentum. And momentum often carries you further than motivation ever could. You're not tricking yourself. You're lowering the activation energy. Once you begin, you often realize you can do a little more. And if you can't, that's okay too. You still showed up, and that matters. 3. Detach self-worth from output. This is where most people silently suffer. On high-energy days, you feel capable. On low-energy days, you feel like a disappointment. But your productivity level is not your identity. You are not more valuable because you checked 10 boxes, and you are not less worthy because you checked 1. When your self-worth is tied to performance, low-energy days become emotionally dangerous. You don't just feel tired, you feel like a failure. Detaching self-worth from output protects your consistency. Because when you stop attacking yourself for slow days, you stop quitting after them. Self-compassion is not weakness. It is a performance stabilizer. The more neutral you stay about your output, the longer you stay in the game. 4. Create a 40% environment. This idea comes from the same habit design principles that James Clear talks about, shaping your surroundings so they help you succeed, even when your energy is low. On low-energy days, willpower is unreliable, so stop depending on it. Instead of asking yourself to try harder, make your environment carry part of the effort. If you want to journal, leave the notebook open on your desk. If you want to move your body, keep your shoes visible. If you want to read, place the book on your pillow. Make the next right action obvious and accessible. At 40%, friction feels heavier. So reduce friction. You're not being lazy. You're being strategic. Environment design is quiet discipline. It says, I don't trust motivation, I trust systems. And systems don't require emotional energy to function. 5. Protect your energy. Like it's income. When you're at 40%, energy is currency, and most people are spending it without realizing it, scrolling content that makes you feel behind, saying yes when you mean no, engaging in conversations that drain you. On low-energy days, don't focus only on what to add. Focus on what to remove. Ask yourself, what is one unnecessary drain I can reduce today? Maybe it's muting notifications. Maybe it's postponing a non-urgent task. Maybe it's choosing rest instead of comparison. Growth is not always addition. Sometimes it's subtraction. When you protect your energy, your 40% starts to feel like 60%. And that's how you build a life sustainably, not by forcing more, but by leaking less. Now, I want to tell you something important. Operating at 40% does not mean you'll live a small life. It means you're playing the long game. Think about this. If you improve your life by 1% a day, in a year, you're unrecognizable, not because you forced yourself. You didn't quit when you were tired. You adjusted. That is strength. Real strength is not pushing through collapse. It's knowing when to scale. And maybe right now, you don't need a new routine. Maybe you don't need to wake up earlier. Maybe you just need a system that respects your current capacity. That's what sustainable self-improvement is. So if today you're at 40%, good. Work with that 40%. Design for that 40%. And then show up anyway. Even 40% effort, done consistently, builds a life you'll be proud of. If this resonated with you, this channel is for people who want to grow without breaking themselves. We build for the long term. And tomorrow, we'll keep going, even if it's only at 40%. One last question. What is one tiny action you can do today that your future self will thank you for? Think about it or write it down in the comments. Thank you for watching this video.